Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent black people. Today, we're going to talk about Shaquille O'Neal, and Shaq is apparently in the hospital right now, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what might be going on, and also talk about Shaq in terms of what he's accomplished from a wealth standpoint, and some other things about sort of health. You know, black men and our health, and what happens when we get in our 50s and 60s, and there's a lot to learn here. A lot of things you can share with each other because health is wealth. So. Take 1 second, guys. Get comfortable, buckle up, seatbelt, hit that thumbs up button. We're going to get started on drboycetv.com right now.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones too late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to co-sign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I want to say what's up to everybody. Shout out the name of your city. Let me know what city you're from, and I'm not going to take a lot of your time. I'm going to make this actually a very quick episode, but I wanted to talk about Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal apparently right now is in the hospital, and this just struck some thoughts, and I wanted to share some of this, not just because I was wondering, like the rest of you, why is Shaquille O'Neal in the hospital? What's going on with that? But also, black men are health, health is wealth. Also, what is going on with Shaq in terms of economics? This brother has really done a great job of generating wealth for his family. I'm extremely impressed by all the fact that he owns so many franchises. He has so much money, and so that's really cool. So I want to say hello to RJ Funches in Newark, New Jersey, Alexandria, and Brooklyn. We are going to come to Brooklyn in a few months for a Black Wealth Boot Camp. I'm going to do a Black Wealth Boot Camp in Houston, April 21st. So if you'd like to join us, just go to boycewatkins.com. Also, as you know, my new book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power, Black Wealth Training Manual. It's the first ever Black Wealth Training Manual that I've ever seen that gives you specific strategies for you and your family to build a legacy of massive, massive wealth. It's not that hard for you to be wealthy. You just got to know what you're doing. And I have a PhD in finance. I'd love to help you. So you feel free to go to Amazon and take a look at the book. The reviews are extraordinarily good, so I think you're going to like it. And also, let's dive in though. Let's dive in with this thing with Shaq. So according to People Magazine, they said that Shaquille O'Neal is in the hospital. He took a picture, put it up on Instagram. He basically said he was always watching. He had an IV in his arm, and he said, "Miss y'all." And Shaq, who's 51 years old, basically, according to People Magazine, they said he underwent an operation to correct something in his hip, and that everything went according to plan. Now, I think that's cool. That sounds legit. I don't think there's anything sinister going on here. And I'm certainly not, I certainly wish Shaq well. I really hope that he is able to recover quickly. He deserves it. He's a great athlete, or he was a great athlete, and he's doing well as a commentator, but also doing well as a businessman, apparently. What I like about Shaq, when I think about Shaq, I think about the fact that Shaq and I are about the same age. I remember when Shaq first came on the scene as a basketball player, he was an absolute beast. To this day, I've never seen a player, including Michael Jordan, that was as unstoppable as Shaquille O'Neal. I literally, you could stop Kobe if you could figure out how to do it. I think there are a couple times the Pistons back in the days used to be able to stop Jordan. But Shaquille O'Neal was the only player who was so good that if he decided he was going to take over the game, you couldn't stop him. You put your biggest, strongest player on him, they didn't know what to do. So any of y'all young bucks that never got a chance to see Shaq play, I would encourage you to go back and take a look and watch him. I mean, he was really amazing to watch. Now, maybe Kareem was in that category, maybe Wilt Chamberlain, etc. I'm not sure. Now, the other thing about Shaq that's interesting is that Shaq did a really great job in terms of wealth. In fact, let me see here. If you look up his net worth, I want to say it's probably, I bet you Shaq is going to be a billionaire at some point. It sounds like he's on his way. They said his net worth here, according to Celebrity Net Worth, is worth about $400 million. These numbers are kind of, weird and inaccurate. I don't know where they get the information from, but literally they even have my net worth in here. And I they had a number and it was there. And but I don't know how much I trust these sources. But they said he earned 292 million in salary during his NBA career. I remember his mother took over a lot of his money and controlled his money, and that kept him from going broke. That kept him from doing crazy stuff with his money. So he was a smart guy. He was a very smart person in the sense that he listened to his mother. He had a smart, strong father. His father was in the military, so he kept him very disciplined. And I just like the way Shaq has lived his career. I like the way he's transitioned outside of basketball and just done a great job. Now, here's the interesting thing about Shaq that I think is worth thinking about. Remember, Shaq is also a black man. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you all is, if you remember, and I I don't even know how it sounds for me to bring it up, but you guys know I like to be honest, and I hope I can say things and still be loved, or maybe you don't love me, but it's okay. It's either way. But when I saw Kevin Samuels die at the age of 55, I felt very bad about that because I think that a lot of black men we run into situations where our health is threatened. I mean, I don't even know. I'm not even going to assume I'm going to make it out of this decade. I'm okay with that. If I didn't, then you just don't. It happens, right? But I think at the same time, a lot of times we forget about our health. I think black men in particular, if you look at how many rappers have died before the age of say 45 or 50, what I see from where I'm standing is in some cases you have guys who basically are just living the fast life. They were living the fast life in their 20s. They kept living the fast life in their 30s. They kept living the fast life in their 40s, and they kept living the fast life in their 50s. And then you die because you can't keep living like that. When you're in your 50s, you can't eat as much barbecue chicken as you ate when you were 25. When you're in your 50s, you can't smoke as much weed and drink as much liquor as you did in your 20s. When you're in your 50s, you can't be, just kind of not taking your health seriously. You can't eat as much sugar and all this other stuff. Your body breaks down, So with that thing, I remember, when the whole thing was going on with Kevin Samuels and he was talking about dying alone and stuff like that, and they were talking mostly about women. One thing I always consistently said is I said, you got to be careful, black men, because you can die alone too. Men die alone all the time. And so, when I saw the way Kevin died, it made me sad because I said, wow, that's my worst nightmare. You're 50-some-year-old black man and you die next to a woman who doesn't even love you, who doesn't even know you, who doesn't care anything about you, who's barely going to call the 911 when you keel over with a heart attack. And I know other men who died like that. He's not the only one. This is not picking on Kevin. People can get mad or whatever. I know people get sensitive about it, but I'm gonna just tell you the truth. I'm not here to just make stuff up. But I know another brother like that, 52 years old, was living the single life, because he was like, all these women ain't nothing, so I'm gonna go and just be free and do what I want, which is fine. That's no judgment there. But he was, so he's dating a girl that was 20 years younger than him. He has a stroke out of the blue. His girlfriend was living with him and depending on him financially, but she had no rights. They assigned no wedding certificate. There was no, she had no ability to go see him in the hospital because she wasn't a relative. She had no rights, and this is something that people have to think about when you're living in the moment. A lot of us don't prepare for death because we live in the moment. We really think that we're going to live forever, and which is really weird as black people to think you're going to live forever because you die faster and younger than everybody else. The black man dies earlier than every other person on the planet. So this idea that you think you're going to live forever is just kind of crazy, right? So this brother who's a little bit younger than Kevin Samuels, he had a stroke. He's about 52. Kevin was 55, and his girlfriend ended up robbing him because she didn't know where she was going to go. So she literally took his phone, put it to his face, so she could get into his bank account and took the money out. Well, she ended up getting charged with a crime and she got evicted, right? So the thing is, here's my point. If you don't make plans for your death and for your life, the universe will make plans for you and you're not going to like those plans. Death does not care how many appointments you have. Death does not care how many people depend on you. Death does not care how busy you are. Death will come and just snatch you up in the middle of the week, and then it'll be done. In fact, if you even look at Kevin Samuels' YouTube channel, it took almost a year. His YouTube channel is probably generating $50,000 a month. So his YouTube channel alone was probably a multi-million-dollar asset if you were to value it based on the way people make money from the YouTube videos. This multi-million-dollar asset sat there unused. I think somebody just started using it, but I went to that channel. I said, hey, when's the last time a video appeared on this channel? It had been months since a video appeared on this channel. Now, mind you, this is black wealth going down the drain. This is money that's gone because there was no plan. There wasn't a plan. Seriously. I mean, you can get mad at me bringing it up if you want to. I mean, I get it. I know there's people out here that are sensitive about it. But seriously, you give me a yes if you can at least hear what I'm saying. That literally this money, this 50,000 a month or 180,000, 30,000 a month, whatever that channel was making, was going down the drain because there was nobody that even had the password to even get into the account, apparently. Right. So my point on this is to say that if you don't make a plan, bad things will occur. Now, again, I'm sure Shaq has a plan. Shaq is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He'll be a billionaire by the time he's done. I think he probably has all kinds of stuff in place, trust in the States. He does not come off as a guy that's not going to be ready. You know, if the Grim Reaper shows up at his house, he's going to be okay. But give me a yes or no. How many of y'all know some brother where if he died right this second, how many of y'all know a black man, if he died right this second, that his kids will be asked out? How many of y'all know a black man, at least one? Give me a yes if you know at least one black man where if he would have died right now, his kids would be screwed. They'd be doing a GoFundMe, making you look like a bum, looking like you a bum, looking like you didn't make any plans for your family, made you look like a bum. Seriously, that makes you look bad. When you are a man and the people you love are not taken care of, that makes you look like a loser. That makes you look like a simp. That makes you look pathetic. That makes you look weak. So at the end of the day, black man, you got to make a plan. You got to stop assuming you're going to live forever and that you can take care of everything and everybody forever. You can't. You got to make some sort of plan. So with Shaq, again, I'm not saying Shaq is going out. I'm not saying Shaq's going to die. I'm saying that ever since Shaq retired, I've been curious about the fact that most men his size don't live that long. They just don't. You know, I'm not saying I want him to live to be 100. But a lot of you look at let's do this. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. By the way, on my website, boycewatkins.com, I put a gift to you guys, a list of 8 AI stocks that I'm investing in that I believe are going to make a lot of money in the future. You might want to jump in there soon because the market's starting to recover. There, as soon as people get over this crisis of fear, the market's going to start doing this. Bitcoin's already showing you. Bitcoin's already been taking off like crazy. I believe these tech stocks, these AI stocks are going to just blow up over the next 5 to 10 years. So you may want to go and take a look. So feel free to go to boycewatkins.com. Also, you can take a look at this training I put up there called How to Make Money Without Working. So feel free to take a look at that. Now check this out. Let me just Google this right quick. Okay, I'm going to Google something real quick. This is going to really kind of blow your mind. What's the average lifespan of an NFL player? Now, Shaq was not in the NFL. He was in the NBA, so he doesn't have the brain damage issue, but he does have the size issue. Check this out. What do y'all think? The average life. Let me. I want y'all to guess. Guess in the chat. The average lifespan of a typical American, of a woman, I believe, is like 78 years old. For men, it's 73. What do you think the average lifespan of an NFL player is? The average life expectancy. Guess. Try to guess. It's between 53 and 59 years old. 53 and 59 years old. So if you're a former NFL player and you're in your 50s, like say Shannon Sharpe or something, you've already kind of outlived the amount of time that you're expected to be here. Right. And it's interesting because I saw Shannon Sharpe reflecting and, he said, I'm going to be 55 this year. Double nickel. And I'm thinking about, marriage and everything. And it's, you got all this stuff and who, if you got all this stuff, who you going to share it with? So he's talking about settling down. He's like, I don't want to be a player no more. And I bet you that part of what's going through his mind is he probably has a lot of friends that took a lot of hits to the head, just like he did. He probably got a lot of concussions while he played, which means he probably has CTE. Most 99% of NFL players have CTE, in case you don't know this. And he's probably sitting there thinking, like, man, like I have buddies who are not here anymore. He's in great shape. He's taking good care of himself physically. But I'm really curious to wonder if he's reflected on his mortality, because that tends to happen anyway when you're in your 50s. But when you're an NFL player and you know that the average lifespan is between 53 and 59, that, when you hit 60, you've outlived the expectation of most people who played your sport. Then it kind of hits different when that happens. Now with Shaq, here's the issue that Shaq might face. I made a list for you guys in terms of people that are bigger. This is why as you get older, again, I'm not a medical doctor, but we know health is wealth. Your health is more important than your wealth. If you don't take care of your physical health, then what's going to happen is if you spend your whole life accumulating financial wealth, what's going to happen if you are physically sick and you've accumulated all this wealth throughout your life? What's going to happen? What is the pharmaceutical company going to do to you when they say, oh, we got a live one here. We got somebody that's got a bunch of money, but they didn't take care of themselves. They got a bunch of money, but they need medication. They got a bunch of money. They need stuff for diabetes. They need stuff for their stroke. They need stuff for their heart attack. What do you think Big Pharma is going to do when they see that you have a life savings and you've been investing your whole life and you have all this wealth and you have assets and resources and a house and everything, and they see that you're sick and that you need them, you need whatever they're selling at whatever price they're selling it for? What do you think they're going to, how do you think they're going, what do you think they're going to see? They're going to see you as food. They're going to see you as food for the capitalist system. They're going to say, oh, okay, well, we can just milk this cow, milk you like a cow, milk the udders, get every penny out of you, and then you die without any money, right? Especially if you didn't take the time to get things like disability insurance while you were young, life insurance, health insurance, and everything else. They're going to milk you. They're going to literally pimp you and take all of your money. So here's the thing with Shaq. In terms of getting big, and a lot of us as Black people, we're trained to kind of eat the kind of food that makes us obese in older age. The risk factors of being that big are, one, a lot of joint and bone issues. People with larger body sizes and those who are taller may experience increased wear and tear on their joints and bones, like osteoarthritis, chronic pain, mobility issues. I remember Shaq talking about having arthritis in his toe or something like that. That's what kept him from playing in the NBA. Cardiovascular issues. A larger body size puts extra stress on the heart and circulatory system, increasing the risk of hypertension, heart disease, and stroke. Black men lead the world in hypertension, heart disease, and stroke. We're just out there. Obesity-related complications. If you are big and have a high body fat percentage, you are at risk of type 2 diabetes, sleep apnea, and certain types of cancer. Height-related risks. Taller individuals may have higher risk of developing blood clots, deep vein thrombosis, and circulatory system issues. Post-athletic career injuries. Professional athletes, especially those who played high-impact sports like basketball, Shaq, may experience lingering or late-onset issues from sports-related injuries such as joint degeneration, chronic pain, and neurological disorders. Mental health. Adjusting to retirement or changes in physical abilities can be challenging for former athletes, potentially leading to mental health concerns such as depression or anxiety. Inactivity. Maintaining a healthy lifestyle and staying physically active is crucial for everyone, including aging athletes. A sedentary lifestyle, meaning sitting around, can increase the risk of various health issues, including obesity, cardiovascular issues, and muscle atrophy. So what I'm saying is the word for today is exercise. Type the word exercise in the chat if what I said has affected your thinking on any level. My goal is not just to talk to you about just anything. I really want to support you and maybe share the things that I'm observing as I get to certain stages in my life. You know, I'm telling you that exercise. You got to do something to work out. If you're sitting on that couch every day, especially when you get in your 40s or whatever, some of y'all just now turning 40, some of y'all just now turning 30, and you're not exercising, believe me, that when that hits you and you see the consequences of that, it sucks. It sucks. I know people that are a little older in their 60s and 70s, and I talked to an older person who's now struggling with cancer right now, and she said, my mother always told me to exercise and I never listened. It's a black woman, and she said, I wish I had listened to my mama when I was younger, because now that I'm 70, I can't exercise anymore, right? So get up and exercise. As Black people, we don't really take care of ourselves the way we should, and I encourage you to embrace a lifestyle where you're doing something physical on a regular basis. And you've seen me, my transformation. Some of y'all saw me when I was looking a little rotund a few years ago. And one of the best things about my wife, and believe me, marriage is hard work, just in case y'all wondering. If y'all think marriage is a fairy tale, then don't do it, because marriage ain't no fairy tale. But one good thing about the struggle of marriage and the work of marriage is that she encouraged me, she influenced me to think about what I eat. She influenced me to go out with her and go running in these races where there'd be nothing but white people there. You know, and I would go to these races and I would see these old people running. And I was like, I never grew up around 75-year-olds who would run a half marathon. I never saw that. I didn't think that was possible. So getting exposure to other lifestyles other than the one Big Mama and Granddaddy showed you, where everybody gets old, sick, and fat after the age of 45, that ain't the way it's got to be. You just got to kind of work for it. When you're younger, you look good just because you're young. A lot of young people look good. Like, I feel bad for people that are really morbid, like really obese at like 30, because that's your peak. Like, you're at your peak at 30, right? It's kind of downhill from 35 on. But if you keep working at it, you can stay sharp. Like Halle Berry is like almost 60, I bet. And I mean, she still looks great because she works out every day, and she kind of, fights against the aging effects that come with getting older. So health is wealth. Take care of your health, or you will lose all your wealth, because Big Pharma ain't playing. They will get you hooked on dope. They will have you up in that hospital. They will be charging you for $100,000 surgeries. And next thing you know, all that hard work you put in, all those 20, 30 years you spent investing and saving and being financially disciplined, goes out the window, and it goes in the pocket of somebody who runs that damn hospital. So give me a yes in the chat if this helped you. Give me a yes in the chat if you get what I'm saying. All right, guys, I got to get on out of here. I'm actually going to go live with my wife in a little bit tonight if you want to watch drboycetv.com. And also, my new book is called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. It is on the Amazon's bestseller list in the public finance category. I'm very proud because we are not a corporation, a big, in terms of corporate backing and all that. We have an LLC, but we're not some big corporation. I don't have some big book deal or whatever. We did this with our own platform, a Black-owned platform, and we sold a lot of books. In fact, the number 3 book on the list, on the bestsellers list in the public finance category, has sold 2 million copies, and we're beating that book too. So we're just killing it. So if you want to get into that, and this is good for your family, feel free to go to my website, boycewatkins.com, where you can find the book on Amazon. Also on my website is the list of all the stuff, the AI stocks. So feel free to go to boycewatkins.com and take a look, or you can also join us in Houston, April 21st. So take care, guys. I will talk to you soon. And by the way, yeah, somebody says, why is Shaq in the hospital? He had hip surgery, which again it's related to what can happen when you're a former athlete. The list I read earlier in terms of the long-term ailments, that hip injury, I think that was probably something that affected him when he played. It's something that's probably just spurring up even worse now, because what happens is as you get older, it just keeps getting worse, right? So those old injuries never really go away. They kind of flare back up later on in life. All right, so I'm out of here, guys. Please have a great day. God bless you, and I will see you soon. So take care, and talk to you later. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.